Support WrestleTalk!
Be friendly in the comments.
Hello and welcome to WrestleRamble. This is Luke Owen. I'm Oli Davis, and today we are reviewing SummerSlam, which has just finished. It is 4:40 a.m. in the morning because this is the UK. We don't have the luxury of watching WWE television in normal hours. We have to stay up very late because of the time difference. And it was a long show. It was a long show that we couldn't, our internet capabilities in the studio couldn't manage both streaming the incoming feed of the WWE pay-per-view and then broadcasting us watching it, which is what many people wanted us to do. So we found a way around it where we would watch it, record something, upload that and watch the rest. So hopefully people stuck with us for that. You can of course check all those videos out on this channel. But now we're going to do an overall encompassing review of SummerSlam. A little bit tired. A little bit... My voice is a little bit frayed.
Yeah, so on a scale of tiredness, how are you?
I am... So I think I'm a... So what? Like 10 is the most tired?
Yeah, 10 is max tired.
10 is max tired, so asleep that would be, wouldn't it?
Well, no, because I think like 11 would be asleep. But like I see 10 as like when you just cannot keep your eyes open anymore, and
when you're nodding,
you're just nodding,
when you're doing the Churchill dog.
Yeah, I do that a bit when I'm on the tube sometimes.
I do it when I'm driving. I don't really. I do it when you talk for too long. And a 0 would, of course, be full of beans running around.
Absolutely.
Superman punches for everyone.
Just woken up, had your hash browns and beans,
Sure.
and you're full of life and vigour.
Well, I think I'm around the 6.
Yeah, so midway.
Yeah, but as soon as that little red light that indicates that we're recording goes off, I'm going to shoot up to a 9.5. There's a lot of adrenaline going on here.
Yeah.
Because it was a cracking main event. But overall, long show. So 2-hour long pre-show, which had 3 matches, and then a 4-hour-long card, which had 10 more matches. So that, I like to think of things in terms of NXT TakeOvers now.
Yeah.
That is over 2 NXT TakeOvers.
There was a point, we were about like half an hour into the main show. Like SummerSlam had just started, we're watching the first match, actually putting into the second match, and you just turned to me and went, NXT TakeOver would have finished by now.
Yeah.
And I've never really thought about it that way, but I was like, man, that really puts this length into perspective, because this is Naomi versus Natalya. We're just getting underway here.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a long show with so WrestleMania this year was another very long show. I think it
7 hours.
Went over. Yeah, it went 7 hours. But that had several massive moments. You had the John Cena proposal. You had the Hardys return.
Yep.
And, the Undertaker's retirement as well, although that was at the end of a quite limp match. You had...
Lesnar Goldberg.
I was just about to say, you had Shane McMahon jumping off the Hell in a Cell.
That's last year.
That was last year. That's the tiredness creeping in. So you had all those big moments. But here, really... There were no moments up until the main event.
A lot of title changes, though.
A lot of title changes that didn't really feel that big. But let's dive into it. Let's do it by a match-by-match basis.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to burp too much during this. I do apologise. I've had a lot of pizza and a lot of coffee.
Yeah, but with those, that was the fuel to keep us up overnight. We can't do alcohol anymore.
No, 3/2 pizza. That was a good call.
It was not a good call. Because we ate at around a semi-respectable time of about 11, and what was it, like 2:45? I thought, I'm going to have a slice of pizza. I had one slice, and I thought, that was a bad idea. Turned over at Luke.
I was going to say, I had several slices, and it was 8. Yeah.
So we opened the show, most of the people in the building didn't, with the Hardys and Jason Jordan versus The Miz and his Miztourage.
Yeah, so we were ordering pizza while this was on. I don't know if I paid that much attention to it. The only thing I can really take from this is that people were upset that the Hardys were on the pre-show. That's about my only takeaway I can get from this.
Yeah, I'm sort of over the whole pre-show debate.
Some
now.
people felt you should have done a news story about it.
Well, they haven't got a feud. Like, if they had a major feud that wasn't on the... that was... Yeah, I'm over the pre-show debate. It's such a thing now.
It's an arbitrary.
Yeah, it's almost redundant to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like saying, "Oh, Raw's 3 hours," and like, yeah, which is hypocritical because we're going to talk about the length of this show a lot. Yes. So, but Jason Jordan got pinned by the Miz. That was the finish.
Good little next step in their storyline, leading into their eventual feud. So I imagine they'll now have a match at No Mercy, which Kurt Angle will probably make, and there'll be a case for the Miz to say, he doesn't deserve this match. I've already beaten him. I pinned him on the SummerSlam pre-show. This is just more nepotism of you pushing your illegitimate child.
Nice word.
Thank you.
It's so there were pictures doing the rounds on the social media where the building was empty. A
lot of people filing in. It was the Ryback Kalisto WrestleMania match last year, where it was last year.
The pre-show stopper.
Yeah, where everyone just pre-show stopper. Yeah, where everyone was sort of filing in. Like my buddy who's there on his honeymoon, front row as well. Lucky lad. He was there. He actually managed to see that match, but not many people did. We got sent a picture, and it was like the place was practically empty. The place was so empty, people were making TNA jokes.
Oh wow, that is bad. They don't even exist by name like that anymore. We saw another tweet. Apparently, some people got in touch with us. There were long lines to get into the building, which is bizarre. You would think you would funnel people in to watch at least the first match. There was a weird bit where Miz, after he won, he held up the title and he ran towards what would be the hard cam side, the bit where the hard cam is. And the camera got a shot of him, and it was just one guy in that part of the crowd taking a photo really close of the Miz, and the Miz was celebrating to all these non-existent people. It does beg the question, and it was something I thought of when they had the social media lounge bit in the pre-show, where Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose sat down to answer really rubbish questions from Charlie Caruso.
Oh, dearie me.
Fan-submitted, but WWE filtered questions.
Yeah.
Like, how does it make you feel that you are teaming again for the first time in ages?
Do you have a tag team name?
Exactly, yeah, stuff like that.
Death. What's your favourite dog?
Yes. And I'm like, this is one of the matches I'm more interested in. You're making me less interested in it by having this little segment.
The social media lounge is utterly... I don't want to use this word because we've just coined them as a tag team, but it is death.
Yeah.
It's a death segment.
So it's like... And people are like, yeah, but they've got 2 hours of pre-show to fill. So, you pop the Hardys in this meaningless 6-man tag, you do the social... there's an answer to this. Don't have a 2-hour-long pre-show. Don't create the time that you need to fill.
Yeah.
Why do you need filler? You've created this problem for yourself. You own the network that you're putting it on. There's no time constraints. You can go for however long as you want or however succinct you want. It's insane. So, yeah, Jordan was pinned in this match. And neither of us predicted this.
No.
We both thought Jordan was going to get the win to continue his push.
But actually, I prefer this way, this way round of Miz pinning Jordan. I think it's a better step on their storyline.
I think it should have been Jordan pinning various members of the Miz Taraj to build his way up to the big final boss.
Or you could have it...
I prefer my people not to lose.
Or, if you wanted to do it that way, you could have Kurt Angle make it so, basically, maybe you're right, Miz. Maybe this is nepotism. So how about Jason Jordan has to beat... next week he's going to face Bo Dallas. The week after that he's going to face Curtis Axel. If he beats both of them, then he can get to...
The week after that he has to face Maurice. Yeah, I like that's a nice way of doing it, like sort of 12 Labours of Hercules, narrative. Next up, we had Akira Tozawa versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Our first reaction video. We got quite some detailed thoughts within that video, but I thought it was a fine match. It was a pre-show match. I don't really remember much of it, to be honest.
It was a long time ago.
I don't remember that much, but I'm a big fan of Akira Tozawa. I love Neville, and I'm kind of happy to see the belt back on Neville. It was probably a pointless endeavour to take it off him in the first place.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's pointless, and it did nothing for anyone. If anything, it scuppered some really nice potential of having a longer reign for Neville. Because he had it 6 months in already. Well, you've wasted that for a 6-day reign for Tozawa.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Asuka on NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 on the Saturday night, last night.
Yes.
Last whenever.
Kind of.
On Saturday night. You look at that match, and they're properly putting over, like, she's been champion for 504 days. She's had a near 2-year reign with this thing. Like, that length of time, like, that's a thing that's so over in NXT, is her streak. You could have, like, Neville having the belt for 6 months in today's climate of, like, constant title changes is pretty good on the main roster. So you could have, like, you could have pushed that through to Royal Rumble, where he's there, like, I won this belt at Royal Rumble last year, and I'm still champion. There's still no one that's ready to dethrone the king.
Especially because it's the Royal Rumble. It's even in the name.
But that's now kind of taken away because, he did lose it, and 6 days later he just won it back.
Yes, it's just... So, okay, fine, you took the belt off Neville. Okay, that's a decision that's been made. Well, then stick with the guy you're going to, like, give that guy a bit of a meaty reign so he can get a chance to get over. Don't take it off him 6 days later, because then you haven't helped Tozawa and you haven't helped Neville.
Yeah.
In fact, you've taken them down both a notch.
Yeah.
It's completely backward booking.
But as we said, like in the reaction video, it appeared to be like they did it on Monday's show, probably just to pop a rating and to like try and drum up some interest into the SummerSlam pre-show. And then this, like, did another title change, and they did another title change in the match that followed this, probably as a way to be like, oh my god, guys, if you order the pay-per-view, if you subscribe to the network, you might see some more title changes.
Yeah, we're gonna front load the show with title changes. Yeah. Because the last couple aren't going anywhere.
So
the big ones.
It was done for moments.
So I got this one right.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're pissing and moaning about it. You predicted that Neville was going to win.
Yeah, but I think my reasoning in the predictions video, I said, I can see WWE being dumb enough to put the title back on Neville.
Fair enough.
So, yes, unfortunately, I got that one right. The next one neither of us got right. So we were both wrong, because we both went for the New Day to retain.
But we did predict it would be a great match, and boy howdy, I mean, not only was this easily, far and away, the best match on the pre-show, it was probably like the third or fourth best match of the night.
Third or fourth?
Or maybe. No, actually, I'll probably put it higher than that. Sorry, I was thinking of just main show. It's probably my third favourite match. Third favourite match of the show.
You see, in a way, it's my joint favourite, because the main event was so fun and crazy. But I think just for a pure... They had gimmicks. They had help. They had tables. They had stretchers. They had freaking office chairs being hurled at each other. But this was just all wrestling with some really inventive spots.
So good. It was incredible stuff.
And the crowd got into that because of character work and a nice story being told. Yes, that happened in the main event as well, but the main event already had that build going into it. So, this is my joint favourite match of the night. I thought this was really something.
I genuinely could just watch these two feud for the rest of the summer, probably into...
No, they'll do that. Don't say that. You say that now and they'll hear you, and they're going to do it anyway, probably.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know where the Usos go after this. I don't want them to have another match.
No, but I'm glad...
I want the feud to be over.
Yeah, I'm kind of ready for the feud to be over. Like, realistically, I could watch them wrestle a million times over because they'll always have fun matches.
Yeah.
But I am ready for this feud to be done with. It's just a question of where do you go next with the Usos, because there are no other tag teams for them to face. Like, someone on Twitter suggested the other day, is like, oh, they could go against the Ascension. And I was like, oh, I think the Ascension are a bit of a joke now. Like, they've been turned... Like, the Fashion Files have done them no favours whatsoever. So there really is no other tag team for them to face, because Breezango are tied up in their own thing, and then it's the Hype Bros. But like, are they splitting up? They haven't been on TV for weeks.
Well, Sanity, of course, won the NXT tag team titles. Maybe Authors of Pain are coming up.
Oh, maybe.
Razor and Akam.
Akam and Razor.
So yes, that was a cracking match. Now we're into the main
Ninja Turtle villains.
Now we're into the main show. And when I was writing down these results, you were like, have you got the John Cena Baron Corbin match in there? I was like, I genuinely forgot that happened. I genuinely forgot. Big Match John. I forgot he had a match with Baron Corbin. And this was the big go home SmackDown angle. It's Baron Corbin failing to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase.
That big angle to lead to the match they would have had if they didn't do that big go home angle. Like, there was... my biggest annoyance from this match is that nothing from SmackDown played into this match whatsoever. Corbs wasn't a more violent, more aggressive person. Cena wasn't gloating about making him lose the Money in the Bank. They just had a match. They had the exact same match they would have had 3 weeks ago. Which I thought was a real waste. I wish they had done what you and I predicted. Well, not predicted, but fantasy booked on the weekend show, which was just that Corbs just lays waste to him and just lays him out. The match doesn't even happen. That would have been a really great way to push the Baron Corbin character, frustrated that he lost his Money in the Bank, and also put him over as a star because he's just laid waste to John Cena. 16-time champion John Cena, big match John. Laid him out. That'd have been great. But no, instead they just had a match.
Yeah, and then Cena goes to Raw the night after. Cena's kind of protected because he's off now. And Baron Corbin gets the gloat about beating up John.
Exactly. I sent Cena packing.
I thought there was an element of Baron Corbin being more aggressive.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if it's because sometimes when something happens, you're like, oh, maybe he hasn't done anything differently, but now I've got context. I've got a story to put with his aggression. I felt like there was a bit more aggression in Corbin, but not enough for it to be a real, Baron Corbin's going to make something of himself now.
Yeah, but the match it's every John Cena match you've ever seen.
Not that many AA kickouts, though.
Nope, that's true. Although we did, the only thing really I can remember from this was I did mention to you that it still amazes me that the 5-knuckle shuffle has not had a name change. Considering every other move that he does, the STFU's been changed, the FU was changed.
But those are both naughty swear words.
Well,
this is just
technically, so is 5-knuckle shuffle.
Masturbation isn't a swear word.
Masturbation is not a sin.
It's an act that is totally fine for you and several friends to indulge in. What else was I going to say? There was one cool spot. I've never seen him do it before. Choke slam on Cena into a sort of backbreaker on the knee.
That was
cool. I quite liked that. I particularly liked how Baron Corbin picked up John, but Cena jumped so high that he went off of Corbin had him like that, and when Cena jumped, his hand went down here. So it looked like Cena just threw himself up in the air and landed on Corbin's knee.
Just before we get into our next match, I did note this out on Twitter, but I wanted to really make reference to it in this full WrestleRamble. This year's SummerSlam, with the exception of one match, which is the match we're about to discuss next, featured an NXT star or a former NXT star, and I thought with this really front-loaded SummerSlam, big matches all the way through, T to B, top to bottom, it just shows that the system does work and it has created some stars to some degree.
How many of those won?
The Raw Women's match, that's
Cass won.
Yep.
Banks won.
Yep.
But that was always going to be because she was
Balor
versus
won.
Bliss. Balor won and Rollins and Ambrose won.
Yep.
That's it. Neville won, I guess.
Neville won, yeah.
5 out of 13. Not bad, I guess. Well done, Trips. It's a success.
Yeah, sort of.
So Naomi versus Natalia was after Corbin Cena
And
for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship.
And someone did point out that Naomi was on the old version of NXT, so technically every match did have an NXT star in it.
Yeah, so this was a mighty fine match, I thought. This was much better than Corbin and Cena. In fact, it was the best match on the main show up until the next women's match, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. I really enjoyed this match. We didn't do a reaction video to it, but I was surprised at the Natalia win. But
yeah.
They were sort of leading into a direction of Natalia v Carmella, but I also felt that they were actually really moving into Naomi against Tamina, with Lana as her second.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I found it very surprising that they took the belt off Naomi, particularly with the news of the Mattel deal where they're going to be selling a toy version of her Glow belt. So perhaps they're just going to put it on her for a little bit and then Naomi will win it back at the next pay-per-view. Or on SmackDown.
You see, the cynic in me, that Natalia, this was her record-breaking achievement pay-per-view, where she has now wrestled on more matches on more pay-per-views than Trish Stratus, who was the previous holder of this WWE accolade. And what is launching right after SummerSlam, or the week of SummerSlam? The Mae Young Classic. So now WWE can be like, look how progressive we are, because this, she's a record-breaking women's champion. all fits into the narrative at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I could go for that. Absolutely. I don't really have much more to add on that. I did think of a point then, but it's gone from me.
That's the tiredness.
Yeah, that's very tired. So I do apologise, viewers.
But yeah, Natalia won. We'll see where it goes on SmackDown. It'd be interesting. Hopefully, your two best characters and wrestlers as a mix, I think, are Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and they are not featured. Hey, how about, I don't know if you saw this on the NXT match with Asuka and Ember Moon, which might have been my favourite match of the weekend. Is that right? No, I like the New Day tag match more.
Yeah.
But that's definitely up there. I love that match.
So good.
Did you notice when Asuka had Ember Moon in the arm lock?
Yeah.
And she kept on looking somewhere.
Yeah, she was looking at the three of the four horsewomen.
She was looking. So I've seen a shot of the other side.
Oh, wow.
And Becky Lynch is like looking right at, because of course the disarmer is Becky Lynch's move.
Yeah.
Asuka's just pulling on the arm, looking right at Becky.
I cannot stress how great Asuka was in that match. Good Lord, that woman is like, we've said it a couple of times on this show, is like whatever it is, she has it in spades.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's great. So let's talk about something that's not so great.
Big Show versus Big Cass with Enzo in a shark cage.
Yeah, and so the shark cage didn't play into anything. And the big spot of this was that Enzo greased himself up to get out of the shark cage.
He got undressed first, don't forget that.
And he greased himself up and got out the shark cage, only to drop down and be big booted by Big Cass, and who then beat up Big Show and pinned him. So I was like, oh, so I'm super glad that big spot we did with Enzo climbing down played into a finish of some sort.
Knowing what we know about Enzo's alleged heat backstage, that he was kicked off the tour bus by Roman Reigns for being obnoxious on his phone, that he's bringing back unwanted guests to the locker rooms backstage. Unsavory types. Putting Enzo up in a cage where apparently he's afraid of heights, and then making an angle where he has to strip down, grease himself up and slip through and then climb down off of. That all seems like a big rib / punishment.
You say that, but I would argue that him greasing himself up and getting out got a bigger reaction than anything in the match. So for a rib, it made him a star. So I don't know if that really worked.
But he was knocked out.
Well, yeah, but that's going to happen that's happened every single week with Enzo in this feud.
Yeah, I don't think it made Enzo look good.
No, oh God, no, absolutely not. But it did get him a huge reaction at the very least. And yeah, I guess because that was the story, that he's afraid of heights, but he wasn't acting like someone who was afraid of heights. Because I am someone who is terrified of heights. So there's a big tall building in London called the Shard, which you can go up to, and you get this great view of London. My parents-in-law got it as a Christmas present. Yeah, it was a Christmas present for me and my lady partner. I was terrified the entire time, especially when you go up to the next one and there's just it's almost open air, but there's just very thin glass protecting you from certain death. And I feel a bit weak at the knees just thinking about it. I am scared of heights. I would not do what Enzo did. If as someone who was scared of heights, it would take me a long time to get down there. Enzo, on the other hand, he just seemed fine with it.
Well, he's a wrestler, so he does a lot of things that require bravery.
Yes, but if you're afraid of heights, that was the whole thing. It's just maybe I'm just saying I don't buy the afraid of heights storyline.
You suck it up. Yeah. But there's no debate in the fact that he looks stupid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, this was just a nothing match.
We've seen this match 5 times now
in the build-up. Yeah. The one thing my favourite bit of it is how good Big Show is at selling. So he obviously had the knockout fist, was injured, it was all taped up, almost in a plaster cast, a very flexible plaster cast, and there was a bit where he landed on his own hand.
When did a sidewalk slam.
Yeah, and he held it there for a bit. And then he sort of had this expression on his face just before he got up, that hurt, I'm going to do this. And it was a perfect facial expression.
Yeah.
He is a very good actor.
Very
he can cry on demand.
Yep.
And he's a big old burly slab of man. What a thing.
What a thing.
Next up.
Something else that wasn't very good.
Randy Orton and Rusev. So Randy Orton makes his entrance.
His long, boring entrance.
Yep, and he's doing his thing up on the top rope, and Rusev attacks him from...
Oh, so you're trying to say that, Rusev almost, got over?
Yeah,
He looked a bit strong for a while.
He attacked him from out of nowhere. They scuffled on the outside. Randy Orton is down. Rusev chucks him into the ring. I was speaking about this to my lady partner. I was like, I don't get this. Why it's okay to do whatever you want to your opponent before the bell rings, and then the bell rings, and then it's okay. Then we can have a normal match. I've always thought that's always jarred with me.
Why?
Because it's ridiculous.
I don't think it's that ridiculous. The match hasn't started.
But you can get like out a chair and you can hit.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a crux. I would hope for like an actual sporting. If this is a sports organisation, a combat sports organisation, people will run down and try and break them up, and then let them. They wouldn't let one of them take calculatedly take out a part of the other person's body with a steel chair or whatnot.
I did like the fact that they were putting over on commentary that Randy Orton will say that he's fine because he's a fighting guy. He's Randy Orton. If you were to build a sports entertainer from the ground up, he'd look like Randy Orton. And they kept saying that, like, he'll say it's fine. It's the referee's call. And I like the fact they put all of the onus on the referee, and the referee was like, do you know what? I think this match is good to go. I don't mind it.
Well, thank God he did, because he was very ready to go. Rusev was like, let's do this. Ding, ding, ding. Bell rings. Rusev goes after him. Order moves. Rusev comes back out of the turnbuckle. RKO 1, 2, 3.
It only takes one! And that was it. Okay, so last month I said that my hope for Randy Orton's SummerSlam match was a 2-on-1 handicap match against the Singh brothers, or a 3-minute squash against Great Khali. I'd have preferred the Singh brothers one out of options, because that finishes up that storyline quite nicely, puts a nice little bow on it.
Sure.
He's not getting another championship match, but he can extract his revenge on the two little dweebs that cost him the title 3 times. That'll be fine. Nice little bow on that little present. But no, instead they were like, oh, we're going to have a match against Rusev. A match that Rusev picked himself, really. Oh, no, well, Randy Orton handpicked his opponents. So, meaningless match. And I thought, well, I suppose they want to just have a Randy Orton exhibition match. They want to, got to get Randy on the show. He's been on top for nearly 20 years. Need to get him out there. Nearly 15 years, I should say. Got to get him out there. Got to get him over. I don't know why they just squashed Rusev. If you were going to do this, do it against the Singh brothers then. Don't just, squash Rusev for no reason.
That's it, because it's actually a good thing. It's a good storyline for a little match bit, because the out of nowhere move is over. It makes Randy look really strong, but the only problem is that it's come at Rusev's expense.
Yes.
And Rusev has so much potential, and just 3 months ago, he was one of the rumoured potential winners of Money in the Bank. And now he's lost to the magical twosome of John Cena and Orton in consecutive pay-per-views.
Yeah, I thought it was... Yeah, I didn't like this at all. Actually, it really annoyed me a little bit.
We both were right, unfortunately. We both picked Randy Orton.
I mean, it was quite clear that Randy was going to win. He's lost his last 4 pay-per-view matches.
Next up was Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship.
I'd have liked to have seen Alexa retain the title for a little bit longer. Excuse me, a little bit longer. But I thought this was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. Sasha Banks is excellent. She is good at professional wrestling. Just actually, I know you're about to say something, because that's Kevin Owens, after the New Day versus Usos match, just tweeted out very simply, the Usos and New Day are very good at wrestling. And I was like, yes, you're right, Kevin Owens, they are.
This is where things start to get a bit hazy, because I'm trying to remember any significant moments from this match. There was a nice bit at the end where Sasha Banks wouldn't let go of the bank statement, and Bliss is going for the ropes. Banks flips it over, and she locks it in again, and then Bliss taps. But other than that, I can't remember any spots.
No, I'm struggling to think of them as well. And annoyingly, the only spots I can really think of were from the Sasha Banks Nia Jax match
which was really good, much better. Neither of us got that one right. We both thought Bliss was retaining.
Yeah, I really did. But although I will say, this was at this point I felt the show was starting to turn around. I was starting to turn around on this show, because we'd had sort of this spout of Big Show, Big Cass, and Randy Orton versus Rusev, and I was a bit like, oh, good lord, we've got a few more hours of this yet.
Yeah.
But then this match kind of turned me around, because I really enjoyed this, and there were elements of the next match I sort of enjoyed as well, although I spent most of it making tea, I think.
Which was Demon Balor versus Bray Wyatt.
What a great entrance Finn Balor has. That man is a star.
Yeah, he looked really cool. He had just one tentacle whip that he was using in his entrance. They really nicely blended in. I've got the whole world in. He's got the whole world in his hands with Finn Balor's heart. Was it his heartbeat?
His heartbeat thing, yeah.
Yeah. So they went full on demon entrance with the smoke and the paint. The paint just looks incredible.
So it was a really, really great. It's one of his better ones he's had actually since he's joined WWE.
You made the good point though about hoping there was more inclusion of the viscous liquid.
Well, yeah, I thought the whole point of the viscous liquid angle from Raw was that he would then incorporate that into his demon design. But no, it's just a regular demon design. But still, very good.
They had an okay match.
It was a Raw TV match.
Yeah, it was. That's all it was, wasn't it? And which might have been good, but I saw a Raw TV match.
Saw that on Monday, mate.
6 days ago.
Oh no! See, what you saw there was Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. This was Bray Wyatt versus Demon Balor.
So that's the other thing. Apart from a few facial expressions, which was different. I don't remember him doing that before. It is just Finn Balor wrestling in makeup.
Yeah, kayfabe.
Yeah,
kayfabe, mate. He's a different person.
He hasn't got any special moves. He doesn't do any crazy.
No, things. I'd like that actually. If he did have he had a different finisher or a different setup moves and stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than just being Finn Balor but with face paint on.
I guess he moves around a bit differently, but only majorly when he's walking to the ring. Yeah. It was just a few mind games. Bray was shocked at the start. Was it? He did the creepy backwards head thing. Oh, my hair is my beard now. That move.
The Demon Balor thing. It might just be because I've been playing a lot of Sonic Mania as of late, but it's it should be like Metal Sonic and or Super Sonic and Sonic, where they have the same moves, but Super Sonic and Metal Sonic have different variations. And they have their own special moves.
You could call it so the coup de grace is of course Finn Balor's finisher. Because the demon is doing it, the coup de grace from hell. I don't know how. Maybe he does it to the outside.
I think JBL would.
On the apron.
Yeah.
Put him on the apron, coup de grace on the apron. Hardest part of the ring, Maggle. Yeah, so I was never invested in this feud.
No.
I saw the match 6 days ago. The match was just an average match. An average WWE match as well, which, in the grander scheme of things, is a below average match on the world stage, especially after the fantastic G1 Climax tournament.
Yes. So when I said that the Bliss match was the real turnaround point for me, with this match I liked the entrance.
Yes. Yeah. That was it was a match of entrances.
And the paint.
And that's what got the biggest pop, really.
Yeah. Well, I said I texted my friend at the show, and I said it feels to me like that Finn Balor is the most popular person on this show so far. He got the loudest reaction of anyone, when his music started to hit, and he texted back saying absolutely, it was the loudest pop that we've had so far.
Alexa Bliss got a big
that's
pop.
it. Yeah, he said and it was second only to Alexa Bliss's pop.
Yeah, so let's just look at this in the grander scheme of things. You had the New Day Usos match, which was out of this world fantastic, and then you had what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Okay, so 6 matches up till Demon Balor versus Bray Wyatt of WWE average TV matches to below that. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like an hour and a half. So what happens next is you have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro. The crowd have now been sitting in their seats for what I think was 4 hours, approaching 4 hours, and they've just seen 6 matches which were subpar, really. And although these two sets of guys are having a decent match, it was nothing crazy good. So the attention's waning. The beach ball comes out. Now, a lot of people are going to be angry at the beach ball. Which is an understandable reaction. I would argue that the crowd is like a toddler. It's a massive humanity. It's that they all latch on to what one person's doing. It's the mob mentality. That's why it's a thing that people say. So you can't really get angry at the toddler if you've just made it stare at a wall for, or something that's not interested in for such a long time. Eventually they're going to see a ball and they're going to be like, way, whoa, way. So, yeah, that's my defense of the ball. Of course it is disrespectful. I'm not saying it's not any of those things. But brilliantly, it was the beach ball that turned around the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it really did. And
because Cesaro went into the crowd, got the beach ball, and ripped it up.
Yeah.
And the crowd were kind of shocked out of their stupor and were like, oh, yeah, you're right, there is a match going on.
Yeah.
And the wrestlers just interacted with the crowd. It's like we're all a part of a thing rather than watching this separate match happen in front of us.
There is a match going on, and we were invested in this storyline, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this is one of the better storylines of the year, definitely leading into SummerSlam. So Cesaro does that. He re-enters the ring as a total babyface. And then for the rest of the match, everyone's pretty damn into it.
So into it, yeah. And to the point
Got
where...
a "this is awesome" chant.
To the point where there were some people on Twitter who felt that the beach ball was a plant.
No. I mean, that's conspiracy theory.
That's conspiracy theory right there. That's Vince McMahon sent the NWO to kill WCW levels.
You thought Shimaro would win, but this guy got demon set.
I said on the show, I predicted that Shimaro would win, but I wanted Death to win because I love them as a team. I love them as a unit. And I wanted to see them win. I hope now that they don't have separate entrances. I want them to have the same entrance. I want them to have some new music. I want them to come out together wearing matching gear, not like wearing trunks or wearing both wearing his leather pant things that he wears, or both wearing jeans, wearing their
leather jacket.
Yeah, wearing their same attire but matching. So matching colour schemes and things like that.
I like that.
Yes.
That's what Shimaro do very well.
Yes.
We said it when they came out in their camo kilts and jackets.
So good together as
the
a team.
aviators.
Yeah, love them.
But yes, this it's going to be interesting to see what Raw looks like going forward, because you've just taken two massive single stars and put them together as a team. Of course, that's what happened to Shimaro as well. So I'm quite worried about The Miz. Who's The Miz going to face for the Intercontinental title?
Jason Jordan.
No, it's got to be Dean Ambrose forever. Yes, this was a good match. It was everyone was invested into it, and I got it right.
Yes.
But the next match you called,
Certainly
because
did.
AJ Styles retained his US title.
The first person on this show to retain.
With a load of shenanigans.
Loads of shenanigans. Okay, so you and I downplayed the Shane McMahon element into this. We felt it was a little bit silly. The storyline going in wasn't as strong as it probably could have been. But I really think that this Shane O'Mac element in this match really pushed this up a notch. I thought it was the best outing that these two have had within this feud. I really enjoyed the match, and I loved it. Not only because I thought the wrestling themselves was great, because the storyline they were telling within the match was really good, but all of their interactions with Shane, and then Shane getting involved in things, just made the match so much more entertaining to watch. I really, really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was fine. I did enjoy the interplay. It's of course all building towards a Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon feud. I couldn't get past. So I've still got an issue with Shane squaring up to actual wrestlers.
Yeah, with his pouring sweat.
Yeah,
from standing there.
He counts pretty intensely. When he counts the 3 count, his whole body came up for each swing of the arm. But my innards can't get on board with Shane McMahon really confidently and threateningly squaring up to actual wrestlers. Because that was never how I saw him. I've been through this already. And I didn't get to see my proper good AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens match. They're all marred by the crappy finishes or just not clicking that well.
I disagree to a degree. I really enjoy this. I also love there was a false finish in there as well, where Kevin Owens hit the pop-up powerbomb and he pinned him, and Shane McMahon counted the 3 even though AJ's foot was on the ropes, and that was a great piece of storytelling, because that in theory any other ref would have missed that and Kevin Owens would have won the title back, but because you had Super Shane in there, he was able to eagle eye that and see the foot.
Speaking of Super Shane, there was a bit where It was one. It was a close fall, so it was a 2 count. And Kevin Owens screamed at Shane McMahon afterwards, going, "That was 3. That was 3. You can jump off buildings, but you can't count a 3." That was a nice.
The only thing that was annoying me in the match a little bit, to the point where I had to stop myself from screaming at the TV, was after that false finish of AJ's foot being on the rope. Shane kept going. That was 2. Sorry, it was 2. It was 2. And I'm like, no, it wasn't 2, was it? Because it was a false finish. There was no count. There was a 0. There was nothing there. He kept going. Sorry, it's 2. It's 2. It wasn't a 2.
He's still learning. He's not a proper referee.
He was too busy sweating. I think he was just taking it all out of him.
Yeah, slippery. It was. Yeah, it was a good. They told the story well.
Yeah,
like that. What they were doing, they told it well. I just it didn't blow me away.
But again, I'd like to see both move on to something else now.
Definitely. Next up, which is in a feud which will probably continue, is Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship.
People were not happy that Nax took the pin here, but I mean, I don't know why anyone expected anything else.
Because it would. I mean. These two were on equal footing of who could take it, I think.
No, I always thought this was Jinder's match all the way. Especially like losing 2 weeks in a row on SmackDown.
You did accurately predict this, whereas I got it wrong.
I thought this was Jinder all the way. I thought it's too early to put the belt on Nakamura. It wouldn't mean as much putting it on the belt now. There's more of a story to be told and a bigger payoff with him winning the belts than just hot-shotting the belt onto him now. Because if you hot-shot the belt onto him now, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Like there's nowhere for him to go. But now you've got the Singh brothers got involved, so Nakamura was screwed out of the belt. He can now ask for a rematch. We can maybe build in some gimmick matches where the Singh brothers are banned from ringside, or maybe the Singh brothers are going to be put in a shark cage. They're going to be
Punjabi prison.
Or we could have another Punjabi prison match.
Nice. Yeah,
It's is Hell in a Cell is that a SmackDown event this year?
I don't know. It might be. I think that's I read a report. Maybe that's what Owens and Shane McMahon are being built towards.
Oh wow! What
yeah.
Owens? Hell in a Cell? Crikey.
Potentially. Because just go straight to escalate. Wow, things escalated quickly.
I was going to say that got out of hand
fast. So yeah, I know, I understand what you mean, and I do actually kind of agree with it. But I also think Shinsuke Nakamura could have won, and that would have also have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see the value of Jinder winning, and you draw out the chase, and Jinder looks even stronger, hopefully, after a while. But to do that, you don't have this finish.
Yes.
Because you had a good start, you had a good first 10 minutes, then it sagged a bit with a few rest holds and big move in the middle bit. But the finish was just real
It was too soon. We said in our reaction video it could have done with another 5 minutes. And that's all it needed was another 5 minutes. It needed a 5-minute flurry at the end with some really decent near falls.
Yeah.
But it just had a really flat finish. And actually, I genuinely think that everyone in the arena, despite the fact what I just said earlier, everyone in the arena did think that Nakamura was going to win because there were so many shocked faces that when Jinder won. And so it kind of did suck the wind out of the arena. But I think that's a good thing, really, because it means that you want to see this guy win. And he didn't win, so I was like, "Oh, I really want to see this guy win now."
No, I think it was the kind of like, that was rubbish. I don't think it was like, "Oh, he's a dastardly heel. I can't wait to get the revenge." I think
it wasn't.
No,
like,
that was a rub. That I didn't enjoy that.
What I mean by being sucked out of it, and like that's not what we wanted. It was we wanted to see Nakamura hold up the WWE Championship. It wasn't that dastardly heel and those ruddy Singh brothers just getting involved. It was more like damn, they took away that moment. I wanted to see that moment of him holding up the belt.
I don't think that's where the anger was. I think it was more that was a crap match. I'm disappointed by that match.
I think it was more about
that's how it ended.
Yeah, the ending came out of nowhere, and our moment was taken away.
So yeah, not a good one there.
But I really enjoyed the match.
It was a fine match.
Yeah,
with a really bad finish, which means I would probably
as I said, match. Like I'm on the Dave Meltzer scale of a 2.5. I thought I quite enjoyed it.
And then finally the big
Meat Man
match, the Meat Man match of Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Holy moly, we both got this right. Brock retained, but they did a good job at making us think he might not have.
Yeah, I loved this match. I thought this match was awesome. I thought all 4 guys worked hard. I wish Samoa Joe had been given more. I felt that he looked like a bit of a chump in there because he didn't really get to do much. He was just, as I said in the reaction video, he was the 4th wheel on a tricycle. And I don't know, because they did such a great job with Joe in the build to Great Balls of Fire, I was really hoping that he would get a bit more featured. And the build into this wasn't really great for Joe. He got pinned by Roman. And then his only real shining moment was he helped Braun Strowman beat Roman Reigns in a last man standing match.
Yeah, I guess that's where that's why, because he was, which begs the question, why not have him take the pin? But I think Roman Reigns being pinned by Brock Lesnar is going to play into the build at the WrestleMania match next year.
Yeah, completely agree.
So I don't know how it would, but Roman Reigns kept on trying. Maybe it's like they're trying to tell the story of he keeps on trying, but he just can't overcome Brock.
Yeah.
But nobody really invests in Roman.
That's the problem. Yeah. Because you can have Heyman tell the story. It's like 2 years ago at WrestleMania, you couldn't beat Brock then. At SummerSlam, you couldn't beat Brock then. What makes you think you can beat Brock at WrestleMania?
What is it? And I won a one-on-one match.
That's
match,
before
the other one turned into a 3-way with Seth's cash in.
Exactly, yeah. And like with that as well, it's like you could have pinned anyone and you still couldn't do it. So I think that overall, in the longer scheme of things, it will work out quite nicely. But it's... Yeah, you're right, and the key to it is that no one's invested in that Roman storyline, apart from, I'd imagine, your cousin's 8-year-old.
Yes, yeah, and Vince. Just those 2 people.
And Kevin Dunn, probably.
Yeah, so that was nicely built. If that's a storyline they're going to tell, even though we have issues with it, that's good. I can see where they're going.
Long-term booking is great.
You've got that. Samoa Joe, unfortunately, was shortchanged. There's no getting around that.
Really was.
However, Braun Strowman continues to look like a star.
That's Braun ascending to the top.
So us wrestling fans, I think we're all pretty much behind Braun. We have been since he started tipping over ambulances and screaming, "I'm not finished with you." But I don't feel like that has broken through into the mainstream yet. Because, I would put Braun Strowman on a YouTube video title or thumbnail. Doesn't do as well as the other ones. Like if you put a Samoa Joe or a Brock Lesnar, they all do well. But maybe it's because Braun Strowman isn't real. He's kind of comic booky. But he is building on those awesome levels every week by week. And here, when the crowd were really strongly chanting Strowman, after the 2 power slams on Brock through the commentators' tables, then flipping over the other announcer's desk on top of him, throwing the chair. He had a lot of great spots.
He was getting the reaction the Office wants Roman to get.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Like, Braun came out of this looking like a total badass and a complete star, and I loved it. And I'm so invested in the return match of Lesnar v Strowman, which might be at Survivor Series. So invested in that match because they told a story within this match to build to that match, and I'm now really looking forward to that encounter.
There was a moment early on because Braun and Brock were kept apart for a bit. It was teased and they were kept apart, and then they finally clashed in the opening third of the match at least. And Braun, I'm using my fingers to demonstrate here, Braun clotheslined Brock over the top rope to the outside. And Brock sold it like $1 million. He flipped and he flopped and he hit the floor, and then he looked around, not scared, but just like
surprised. Brock is an amazing seller.
Yeah,
like when he's invested in a feud, he's so good at selling. He's absolutely brilliant.
It's weird because you don't think of Brock as being this amazing seller. You think of him being a destroyer.
Yeah.
But actually, because he is so much a destroyer and he doesn't sell that often, when he does, not only is he so good at it, because it's so rare, it feels so, which is symptomatic of Brock's presence as a whole. When it does happen, it feels like such a big deal. Oh my God, Brock is on the ropes, and it's from this guy, it's from Braun, and Braun feels even bigger because of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, everything was good apart from the Joe stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, that means that brings it to a tie, though. I got 7 out of 13. You got 7 out of 13.
Thank you, Jinder.
Which brings us to the tiebreaker of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. So we'll just very quickly run through these matches.
Well, I was going to say, it's a shame that we can't spend a bit more time on this because hot damn what a show this was. T to B, top to bottom, this show was awesome.
Yeah.
This was great.
It was a really, really good show. Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas.
What a match. What a match. I'm not sure if I actually told the story. I mean, I did put it up on Twitter, but I was very hungover today because I had a late one last night. I was out with my sister-in-law and her partner and my wife-to-be. And we were out drinking till the very wee hours of the morning in Soho, in classy Soho. We went to a late-night place that sold dim sum until 3 a.m. because that's the kind of hipster dicks we are. And I was very tipsy, and I was very, very unwell.
You like
morning.
the party boy Cien Almas, weren't you?
Yeah. I need, what's her name? Sofia Vergara, or whatever they keep calling her.
Insanely hot lady.
And so I was very unwell in this, and my fiance said, I think you need to go and have a lie down. And I did, and I took my iPad with me, and I watched this match, and this match nearly brought me back to life. Because it was so good, and Gargano is such a great wrestler, and I'm really enjoying this new era for Cien Almas and this new part of his character, this new evolution of his character.
Yeah.
God damn, this match was great.
It was a good match. Gargano is just a tremendous babyface. Some really nice spots in it as well. But the ending was very, very good from a character standpoint. Gargano is just about to hit his finisher on Almas, but a hot translator lady throws a T-shirt at Gargano, and it's the old DIY T-shirt. And Gargano just looks at it, transfixed, heartbroken, and that's when Almas clocks him himself.
Such a great moment when they cut to, after Almas had won, they cut to Gargano in the ring, and he sat there looking at the T-shirt, and he just starts moving himself away from the T-shirt like it was like an animal that he was afraid of.
Yeah.
And what was also great about that finish, and I've got to put over the commentary team, at least 2/3 of the commentary team, I've got to put over Morrow and Nigel in this stance. If this was on a WWE main show, if this was an angle that was done on SummerSlam, I can guarantee you that Michael Cole and everyone else would have been going like, that's a DIY T-shirt, that's a DIY T-shirt, because that's what's in the script for them to say. No, it was only mentioned once by Nigel, and he was like, I think it's a DIY T-shirt.
Yeah.
I think that's what distracted him. Because kayfabe, they're all the way up there. They can't see it. He never, unfolded the T-shirt. We as fans know it, but then as commentary, calling it like it's a real thing, didn't know. And I thought that was a really nice touch to it.
It was. I picked up on this as well, but I thought in my Michael Cole version in my head, he's screaming, What's that? What's that? Is that what I think it is? It is! It's a DIY T-shirt! Yeah, so there would be a bit more suspense and stupid question asking, is that Kevin Nash? No, who's that? Well, yeah, it can be no one else. Nobody else looks like that. That is Kevin Nash.
Oh, it's just because he's dyed his hair. You didn't recognise him, Cole, you dick. Although, because we recently rewatched that, because we did the SummerSlam Disasters video, the most infuriating thing about that, bearing in mind this was a time when Raw commentators were at ringside, they didn't make reference to Kevin Nash being in the ring attacking Punk until he was shown on camera. So the crowd are going nuts because Kevin Nash has just walked through Dial and got into the ring. But the commentator, they're going like, CM Punk is the new champion. Congratulations. I mean, John Cena's foot were on the rope there. Crowd are going nuts. And they're not reacting to that at all until Kevin Dunn cuts to the wide. And then they're like, oh my God, who's this in the ring?
Yeah, it is quite frustrating. So we both got that right.
We certainly did.
Next up, we had Authors of Pain versus Sanity.
I loved this match.
Neither of us got this right.
No.
Because we both predicted Authors of Pain to retain.
Yep.
Because we thought Sanity were going up. Looks like it's the other way round. I think Authors of Pain are going up.
You think they're on the up?
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the up ski. I loved this match. And it was
really
really interesting seeing Sanity work babyface, which was equally as interesting because they've been working the heels throughout the build to the feud, and Authors of Pain have been working the babyface. It almost feels like they called an audible.
Oh, do you think? Because of Eric Young being awesome?
Because they came out, Sanity got a great reaction coming out, Authors of Pain didn't get quite the same reaction. It just felt like at some point someone said like, all right, let's switch this up. You work babyface. And hot damn did it work, because Eric Young he's a talent, man.
Yeah.
He's so good.
It started off as Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane, but Killian Dane never tagged in. And all of a sudden, he switched with Eric Young, and that was a great moment.
And I loved it as well, because when Eric Young jumped up onto the apron to say, like, I'm going in, Killian Dane wasn't like, woo, I want to be mad. He just smiled and went, that's brilliant. He just had a smile on his face like, this is why you're the leader. Oh, it was great.
And the big spot was Nikki Cross. Is she Nikki Cross or Nikki Storm?
Nikki Cross.
Cross.
Nikki Cross is her slave name.
Yeah. So she jumps out and does a crossbody onto
so good.
Razor.
I think it was Razor.
One of the authors of Pain. He catches her. He turns round. And then
Killian Dane.
It was Big Dane. Yeah, it was Killian Dane. So because they're former British people, I can't get it out of my head their actual names. So
And
they
he
used to wrestle under.
squashed that poor girl against that big dude through a proper like biscuit crunch table.
She was the filling of a man meat sandwich there. Yeah, she must have been destroyed.
What
in
a great
the middle
spot
of
it was. Nikki Cross is so awesome.
She's great.
She's
so really,
good.
really good.
And like when she got into the ring, the crowd were going going really rabid for excitement. And then Paul Ellering got into the ring. Boo! Nasty heel stopped us from having fun with Nikki Cross. Referee distracted. She climbs up. Oh my god, it was so great. I loved this match. And then we had the killer ending.
Oh, I forgot. Yes.
Killer ending. There's Sanity celebrating. Who should run out from the crowd but Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, and laid waste to them like a pair of effing badasses.
As a very, very... so one of my favourite eras in Ring of Honor isn't the period that most people love, which is, the Gabe Sapolsky, Samoa Joe, CM Punk era, because I've watched that, but since out of context. But I was a rabid fan from just after the HDTV net days. So like 2010, 2011, 2012, which is when Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole were coming up under Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards. They were like this 4 MMA influence group. And I've watched Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly rise through when he joined and formed Red Dragon with Bobby Fish. So to see them there like that, after they debuted on NXT in concurrent weeks, losing to Aleister Black, I was like, oh God, this does not bode well. But hey, it worked out very well by the end of this.
Didn't it just? And man alive, they just looked so cool.
They looked legit.
Yeah, that's it. They looked absolutely legit. And it's funny, like I came into the studio and I hadn't finished watching TakeOver by the time I eventually got to the studio, because it took me a long bloody time to get here and I've been horribly hungover all day. And you said to me, it's like, have you finished the show now? I said, no. And then you were like, I think you should finish the show. And I had a feeling, I knew that there was a big angle at the end of the show, because my buddy texted me in the morning saying, like, let me know when you've watched TakeOver, because we have a lot to discuss. And so I knew there was something big coming, which was weird, because when I woke up this morning in my horrible hungover state, I suddenly thought to myself, oh man, wouldn't it be a great angle at the end of the show if the main event ends in a no contest, because Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong just jump up onto the apron, almost Nexus style, and just beat down everyone, and then just lay waste to the set to like kickstart this ROH invasion. And I thought, oh man, that'd be awesome.
I do like your one because you got the Roddy presence in there.
Exactly, yeah. Like, and it works so well within that storyline. And then when Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish beat up Sanity after the tag match, I was like, maybe this could happen. This would be great. In fact, actually, I think the ending we got was probably even better than my fantasy booking.
So we'll run through these because I'm actually falling asleep now.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Not your fault, but just I'm tired. 6 hours of SummerSlam, remember?
Yeah.
And I've got news to write. So Hideo Itami versus Aleister Black next. That was a cracking match with an even better entrance from Black.
Oh God, what a star that man is!
Yeah, he entered being raised from the ground in the middle of a band playing his entrance music, which is awesome. We both got that one right.
What a great match.
That was a good, hard-hitting match.
Wasn't
then we
it just?
had Asuka versus Ember Moon. Asuka retaining. I got this one right.
You certainly did. So it's okay. So I did predict that Ember Moon was going to win here because I thought that's the storyline they're building to. Until they did that video package about the streak, and then this match wasn't Women's Championship, it wasn't hashtag Asuka versus Ember.
Yes.
It was hashtag the streak. And I suddenly thought to myself, I never want Asuka to lose this belt. She has to win this match. She has to win.
Yeah, I'm glad you came round to my way of thinking. Someone tweeted me, who was like, but she should put someone over on the way up. And I said, that's one way of doing it. But I think, and if they did that, fair play to them. But I think you have more potential in calling her up. She's on this massive unbeaten streak, never lost the NXT title. It was given up. So good stuff.
She is so good. Her selling is impeccable. Her facial expressions are absolutely magnificent. The way she holds herself in the ring, and it was just all these moments throughout the video package of her being this cocky champion, and it's you're looking at her and you're like, of course she's cocky. No one could be. No one is ready for Asuka. Oh my god, it's so great. She's legit the best.
And in the main event, we have Bobby Roode losing his title to Drew McIntyre in another cracking match.
I was going to say, I've seen a few people really down on this match online,
saw that.
which I was really surprised at, because I thought it was certainly one of Bobby Roode's better NXT main events. I thought this match was great.
I thought it was incredibly solid.
Yeah.
And sometimes being incredibly solid is really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
Especially Drew McIntyre's insane dive over the top rope. Bobby Roode did his best, but Drew McIntyre's a big guy. And I think just the force of McIntyre pushed Roode over, and McIntyre landed on the floor pretty hard.
Yeah, it's funny because when McIntyre first came onto the scene, like 2006 maybe late. Actually, it was probably later than that. It was like 2009 maybe. And he was given the gimmick of the Chosen One. He was Vince McMahon's pet project, and that was art imitating life. Vince McMahon had handpicked him to be the next world champion because he loved him. And there was a lot of us at the time that were just like, I don't get it. Like, I don't really get it. Now, when he's come back after he's had his stint doing the indies, the independent circuit, as soon as he stepped back into NXT, and he's got the beard, and he's got the hairy chest and the long hair, and when he stood, like, towered over Bobby Roode, I was like, oh, now I get it.
He's a big guy.
He's a big dude, and he just looks great, and he'll look great holding championships.
So because I thought that Roode was being called up very soon, I thought he had to drop the belt, and so that's what I went with. I went with Drew, and I was correct.
And it appears to be that way because it looks like we're going with Drew versus Adam Cole as the next program, rather than Bobby Roode going for the belt again. Perhaps like they'll finish up the Bobby Roode Roderick Strong storyline, and then old Rudy boy can get called up to the main roster.
So that means it's 4-5 to this guy in NXT predictions. To 2-5.
Very well done to you.
That means I'm 2-0.
2-0 up,
including Fantasy Booking Warfare this month. Yes.
Very well done. Very well earned. And there was someone got in touch with me on Twitter to call me an idiot because I predicted all of NXT wrong. But I think that's a good thing because that means that NXT is not predictable.
You got almost half of them right, so they were wrong. Well done, Luke.
Yeah.
But that's all we've got time for. I'm going to go to sleep now. Please click the videos that do WrestleRamble, WrestleTalk News, Luke Owen, me, subscribe, Patreon.
Love you.
That was rambling.